Imagine living in a world where justice didn't mean fairness, it meant fear. A world where punishment wasn't just about correcting crime, it was about sending a message so terrifying, no one would dare break the rules again. This is not fiction. This is real history. And what you're about to hear will stay with you. In today's world, punishment is often about rehabilitation. But in ancient civilizations, punishment had a completely different goal. Control through fear. Empires didn't have modern policing systems. They didn't rely on psychology or prisons the way we do today. Instead, rulers used public displays of suffering to maintain order. If one person broke the law, thousands had to witness the consequences. And nothing represents this more than one of the most brutal punishments ever created. Number 1, Crucifixion, death by slow agony. Used extensively by the Roman Empire, crucifixion was designed to be as painful and humiliating as possible. This wasn't just execution. It was a public spectacle of suffering. Victims were stripped, beaten, and forced to carry their own cross through crowded streets. By the time they reached the execution site, they were already on the edge of death. Then came the worst part. Nails, driven through wrists and feet, attaching the body to the wooden cross. But here's the horrifying truth most people don't know. Crucifixion didn't kill you quickly. It killed you slowly, over hours, sometimes days. As the victim hung, their body weight made it nearly impossible to breathe. Every breath required pushing up against the nails, sending waves of unbearable pain through their body. Eventually, exhaustion set in. Muscles failed. Breathing stopped. And death finally came. But not before maximum suffering. One of the most well-known victims was Jesus Christ, whose crucifixion became one of the most documented executions in history. Yet, thousands of others suffered the same fate. Their names lost, but their pain very real. Number 2. Scaphism, the most horrifying death you've never heard of. If you think crucifixion was brutal, what you're about to hear is far worse. This punishment comes from ancient Persian Empire. It's called Scaphism. And many historians consider it the most cruel execution ever invented. Here's how it worked. The victim was trapped between two hollowed-out boats or logs, with only their head, hands, and feet exposed. Then, they were force-fed milk and honey. At first, that might not sound terrible. But this is where the nightmare begins. The mixture caused severe diarrhea, which was left to rot on the body. At the same time, honey was spread over the exposed skin. This attracted insects, flies, maggots, parasites. Slowly, the body became a living host for decay. The victim wasn't killed instantly. Instead, they were eaten alive, over days, sometimes weeks. All while still conscious. All while unable to escape. It's hard to imagine a worse way to die. And that was the point. Number 3, the Brazen Bull, burned alive inside a statue. In ancient Greece, cruelty took a disturbingly creative form. A device known as the Brazen Bull was created for execution. It was a hollow metal statue shaped like a bull. Victims were locked inside. Then a fire was lit underneath. As the metal heated up, the person inside was slowly roasted alive. But what made this even more terrifying was the design. The bull's mouth was engineered so that the victim's screams would echo out, sounding like the bull itself was roaring. Imagine that. A crowd gathered. A metal beast glowing from heat. And from inside, the sound of human agony, transformed into something inhuman. This wasn't just execution. It was psychological terror. Number 4, Lingchi, death by 1,000 cuts. In ancient China, one punishment stood out for its slow, methodical cruelty. It was called Lingchi, meaning death by 1,000 cuts. Unlike instant execution, this method was designed to prolong suffering. The victim was tied down. Then, piece by piece, small cuts were made to the body. Not enough to kill immediately. Just enough to cause pain, and keep the victim alive. This process could last for hours. Sometimes longer. And it wasn't just physical punishment, it was also symbolic. In that culture, an intact body was important for the afterlife. Lingchi destroyed that belief. So even in death, the punishment continued. Number 4, Damnatio ad Bestias, thrown to the beasts. Back in the Roman Empire, another brutal form of punishment existed. Damnatio ad Bestias, meaning condemnation to beasts. Prisoners were thrown into arenas filled with wild animals. Lions. Tigers. Bears. And they weren't given weapons. Sometimes they were injured beforehand, to make the show more entertaining. Crowds would gather in massive arenas like the Colosseum to watch these executions. To them, it was entertainment. To the victims, it was terror beyond imagination. Number 5. Impalement, the signature of fear. Few punishments were as feared as impalement. And no ruler is more associated with it than Vlad the Impaler. Victims were pierced through the body with a wooden or metal stake, often from the lower body upward. The stake was then planted into the ground, leaving the person suspended. If done carefully, the victim could remain alive for hours, even days. The pain was unimaginable. But the real purpose? Fear. Vlad reportedly displayed forests of impaled bodies, a warning to anyone who dared oppose him. It worked. Enemies turned back, before even attacking. Number 6, the psychological side of brutality. Here's something important to understand. These punishments weren't random acts of cruelty. They were calculated. They served 3 major purposes. 1. Deterrence, if people feared punishment, they would obey. 2. Power display, rulers showed absolute control over life and death. 3. Public spectacle, the more people witnessed it, the stronger the message spread. In a way, these punishments were the social media of ancient times. But instead of likes and shares, they used fear and death. Why this still matters today? You might be wondering. Why should we care about this now? Because it shows how far humanity has come. Today, many countries have laws protecting human rights. Punishments are, in most places, designed to be humane. But history reminds us of something important. Civilization is fragile. The line between justice and cruelty can shift, depending on power. Next time you hear the word punishment, think about this. There was a time when justice meant nails through your body, being eaten alive by insects, or burned inside a metal beast while people watched. And the most chilling part? To them, this was normal. So the real question is, if you were living in ancient times, would you survive the rules? Or would you become an example? If this shocked you, hit like and share this with someone who loves dark history. And don't forget to subscribe to Fabelon Stories, where the past isn't just history. It's a nightmare you won't forget.